South Africa's First Lady, Dr. Tshepo Ramaphosa, candidly recounts a heartfelt family moment. Her adult daughter once looked at her and said, "Mom, you're embarrassing me. You're always asking people for money." That blunt remark came as Dr. Ramaphosa was selling concert tickets at her daughter's school, part of her lifelong commitment to fundraising for causes she cares deeply about. That moment, the mild humiliation, the shock, the love beneath it sparked a broader conversation rich in context, compassion, and complexity. Today, we're going to unpack that story in detail. We'll explore why it matters, what it reveals, and where it might lead. 1791 from the outset. Let's dive into the historical context. Dr. Tshepo Ramaphosa hasn't just recently embraced philanthropy. She has been raising funds across decades for diverse causes, many touching South Africa's most vulnerable, especially children. She serves as patron of the Early Care Foundation, and alongside her husband, President Cyril Ramaphosa, she supports students through the Cyril Ramaphosa Education Fund. That fund aims to bridge gaps left by NSFAS, the National Student Financial Aid Scheme that doesn't reach every needy learner. Over decades, her identity as a physician, business leader, and community organizer has been tied to fundraising. A life defined by gentle persistence, by asking well-meaning donors and sometimes strangers to contribute. That context, when folded into the anecdote about her daughter's embarrassment, becomes more than a family spat. It symbolizes the tension between public duty and private emotion. Now, let's examine the anecdote itself in depth. Imagine a warm school hall, a mother selling tickets, children, and parents milling about. Her daughter, now 28, sees her mother publicly soliciting donations. More than that, hustling. "Mom, you're embarrassing me," she says. It's a familiar teenage cry, or so it seems. But coming in adulthood, it feels more serious. While light-hearted in tone, it reveals a deeper struggle between generational expectations and maternal values. 15562D Ramaphosa shared this story during a public event at the University of KwaZulu-Natal's Nelson R. Mandela School of Medicine, where she was being honored. The occasion was the Living Legends ceremony celebrating medical alumni, including professors and doctors with decades of impact. Amid applause and admiration, she recounted her daughter's honest words and shared her response. 28720 The response with grace and good humor. She acknowledged the comment without defensiveness. She reaffirmed her motivations, building crashes in rural and township communities, supporting students through educational funds, stepping in where formal systems fall short. She also noted how COVID-19 disrupted many projects when funders pulled out, forcing closures of fresh building efforts, yet didn't deter her mission. From one angle, this anecdote invites scrutiny of public fundraising by high-profile figures. Should public figures solicit funds directly? Does doing so risk perceptions of begging or tarnish personal dignity? These are valid questions. Critics might argue that someone of her status should rely on institutional donations, structured appeals, or formal philanthropic networks rather than grassroots requests. On the flip side, many admire her authenticity. She's not hiding behind layers of bureaucracy. She's out in the community doing the legwork. She's relatable, imperfect, human-driven. That resonates, especially in a context where many South Africans struggle for access to early childhood education and tertiary funding. Her direct fundraising can feel more personal, more urgent. Let's also consider the generational dynamic. Her daughter, young adult raised in privilege and status, views public embarrassment differently than her mother, whose life is built around service and community. That generational clash illustrates broader shifts. Younger generations demanding privacy, prestige, dignity, older ones seeing public struggle as meaningful testimony. Beyond personal nuance, there's broader societal value in her approach. Her lifelong fundraising underscores structural gaps, Insphosa's reach, the fragility of early child care in underserved areas, the role of private activism in filling public voids. Her remarks highlight how pandemics like COVID-19 expose vulnerability, funders shift priorities, projects shutter, communities lose support. Yet, she persists. Looking ahead, what might this mean? Several potential outcomes emerge. First, it could spark broader conversations about fundraising etiquette for public figures, how to balance personal appeals with institutional accountability. Second, it may inspire others, especially women and community leaders, to persist even when family or peers feel uncomfortable. It shows how perseverance can coexist with humility. Third, it surfaces discussion on formal support systems. If private fundraising remains necessary, what does that say about public finance and education frameworks? A reminder that even at senior levels of leadership, gaps remain. Finally, it reinforces the idea that personal stories carry weight. When high-profile individuals share vulnerability, awkward moments, or candid family interactions, audiences connect, and connection galvanizes empathy, support, and action. So, what deep insights can we take from this? 1. Personal humility can enhance public credibility. Dr. Ramaphosa did not shy away. She embraced the personal anecdote and used it to humanize her mission. 2. Intention matters. Even if the act asking for money might seem embarrassing to some, her lifelong intent remains building, supporting, and filling in where systems fail. 3. Family dynamics reflect broader societal tension. Generational perspectives on visibility, privacy, dignity, and activism differ, and those differences illuminate ongoing social evolution. For public praise and recognition like that, living legends of honor gives her greater platform. Yet with that platform comes scrutiny. She shows how to handle scrutiny with grace, humor, and continued purpose. Let's imagine the future. Perhaps this story encourages more transparency in fundraising, stronger public reporting, clearer purpose, more inclusive giving models. Maybe young people hearing stories like this become more active themselves, starting fundraisers, community projects, or education support initiatives. Maybe institutions take note and strengthen safety nets so that noble individuals don't carry the burden alone. The episode also reminds us that public figures are parents, community members, and individuals with complicated lives. Thank you for listening all the way through. If you found this video insightful, go ahead and hit subscribe. Share this video with friends who value thoughtful storytelling. And don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. What do you make of the story? Have you ever experienced similar tension between family expectations and public duty? Let us know. We'd love to hear your perspectives. Until next time, keep questioning, keep caring, and stay engaged.